I just did a little spot on Harlem, that Megan Good show. I'm on South Side on HBO Max, that comedy on South Side. So yeah, a lot of things have been falling in place. Just I got a film that I did about 3 years ago. Now it's in a bunch of film festivals. A Pakistani American film that I did, and then it's called Americanish. And I did a film with Gabrielle Union, a couple scenes in that called Perfect Fine. Is coming out next year.
Dope.
And of course, the Tiffany Haddish stuff is running on Netflix, the They Ready stuff. And my podcast is doing good in Godfrey We Trust on the Gas Digital Network. And gosh, I just did something else and I just can't even freaking remember.
Busy, man. Yeah.
But oh yeah, no, Showtime. There's a thing on Showtime coming out. It's the Cosby documentary. It's called Let's Talk About Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
And Kamal Bell, who's on the United Shades of America, it produced and directed it. So I shot it it was about a week before the pandemic in 2020. So that's going to Sundance Film Festival, and I'm all up in that. So, got a lot of things coming around. You know what I mean?
Dope. Did you now talk about that? Because Kamal, he comes from a different level sometimes. You never know where he's going to swing. Was it like, I don't want to angle it like a pro or anti-Cosby, but does it kind of go right down the line? How's that documentary shaped, if you can't talk about it?
I see everybody shot their stuff separately. So I shot about 4 hours. I was in Brooklyn. And because I worked for Cosby, one of my first gigs was warming up the audience for the Cosby Show, which was on CBS, not the old show, the newer one that he did. I did that for like 6 months, audience coordinator, you know what I mean? So it was basically about his career and how his career has ended, And I don't remember what I said, but I'm sure I made sense because I was like, hey, I mean, there's some things that I believe, some big things that I don't believe, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we got to look at the time frame at which a lot of this stuff occurred. Because Cosby was like, yeah, I gave women drugs. They wanted it. This is the 60s and 70s and 80s. Dude, everybody was open, And I believe some stuff and some stuff I don't believe. I even heard I know a friend who actually got harassed by Cosby. Like she never reported him though. He was trying to force himself, and she never reported. She never did. And I was like, damn. But I believe there were some women that actually went with it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times I think that when somebody doesn't get what they want, they go, okay, this person raped me, or this person did this to me, or this, even though they were consensual with the drug taking, with the sexual, you know what I mean? I think it's both ways, because there are women that do get raped. Let's keep that shit 100. Right. Men rape women, man, and get away with that shit, and it's sad because I was giving him props on his comedic genius and everything he's done for Black people in television, all the great things he's done for Black people in television. I mean, Cosby literally changed TV, man, for Black people. Like in the 60s, he had I Spy in the 60s. He was the first African-American to be on a network television show, I Spy. Then he did Fat Albert, first African-American cartoon. He had that. Then he was advertising for Jell-O and Texas Instruments. And then he was on the show called The Electric Company, which was in the 70s with Morgan Freeman. It was a children's show. It was right after Sesame Street. He was doing that, picture pages, education. Cosby was killing it. Like, he actually sponsored one of the first, this guy named Willie T. Ribbs was one of the first like NASCAR race car drivers, in a modern era. There's a documentary of Willie T. Ribbs, and Cosby was a sponsor of that. And and just for comedy, Cosby was one of the first dudes to be on national TV crossing over. And Cosby, he influenced Richard Pryor. People don't understand that. Richard Pryor wanted to be like Bill Cosby. You understand? So Cosby was a pioneer for decades, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And with Cosby Show, Different World, he changed the landscape of Black people going to college. The college matriculation increased when Different World came on. Everybody wanted to go to historical Black colleges. People wanted to get into education. He was literally influencing Black people and their education, their awareness of how to conduct themselves. And so then you had all this, and then you had the rape shit, you know. And then we battle whether it's between society not wanting a Black man to have power or, you know, taking the person down for committing crimes. It was a battle between, because every time a brother gets into power, there's always some scandal that happens sometimes. You know what I mean? You look at Michael Jackson, like, look at what they did to him. And I don't believe any of the shit that Michael did, ever. I know he didn't touch no kids. I know that. I know he didn't touch no children. Bullshit. He has had a lot of juice. Michael, you know, owned half of Sony. He owned the Beatles category, all that. And he was an influence all over the world. And he was calling people out.
Fact.
So that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel. You know, people can dispute it. I don't really give a shit. This is just how I feel. You know what I mean? You know, people be like, yo, man, you know, in the comments, man, that motherfucker don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. It's my opinion. The buck has to stop at a certain point. You can't continue taking abuse because you're getting views, man. The fuck? That's why, like, the Black TikTokers, they stopped creating because white folks were taking all their shit. And they weren't getting the numbers. So Black people said, we're going to stop TikToking. What's wrong with that? And they didn't have to march. You didn't have to put shoes on and march anywhere. You just don't TikTok. Let's not do it for a couple months. Why can't we stand up virtually? You can't even stand up virtually.
That's a fact.
Damn. Yeah. You can't even just go, I'm going to log out. Niggas can't log out.
Yeah, man.
We can't all together log out as a group. Let alone protest and put our physical bodies in front of. You can't just log out. Damn. I don't know what to say, man. I'm not the master of all Black people, man. I'm just master of myself and my environment, man. I just suggest shit and that's it. And anybody takes it wrong, that's your fucking business. I don't give a fuck what you got to say. This is just my opinion.
And Godfrey dropping game on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button, that 5-star.
Yeah.
You always do good numbers on our podcast. People love listening.
Oh, do I?
Conversations, man. Yeah, you one of the best on here. So we appreciate you for the numbers. You know what I mean?
Check them numbers, son.
Check them numbers, son. They doing all right, man.
You know what I'm saying? I might gotta get a percentage of this.
Hey, bro.
Hey, man, first of all, I like the way you guys are growing, and if I can do anything to contribute to you guys' success, I'm always happy. I like to see Black folk move and do well. I'm that guy.
Absolute love, man. We appreciate you.
I love that. And your platform is great, and it gives me shine, and it's just back and forth. And I love when you guys call me up. Other than that,
oh man.
But now it's going good. All they do is say send it to my DM, send it to my email, and I'll just
say no more, brother. We only got
yo. Send me you guys' information to my DM, man.
Got you. We on it,
bro.
Bro.
Appreciate you, Godfrey, man. Thank you once again.
No, I appreciate you guys, and you know, when is this showing?
Probably have some clips up next 24 hours or so, and then the audio podcast will be up next week.
Okay, well, I'll be if you guys are in Minnesota for New Year's, December 30th to January 2nd. I'm at the House of Comedy in Minnesota, and also I got one night in Baltimore, December 26th, right after Christmas, at the Baltimore Comedy Factory. Come get these motherfucking jokes, folks. You know what I'm saying? So December 26th, Comedy Factory, 2 shows, one night, and then Minnesota, House of Comedy, December 30th through January 2nd. So,
love, bro. Godfrey on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Go get them tickets. Go get them jokes.
Yes. Oh, and watch my podcast in Godfrey We Trust.
Oh yeah, for sure.
On the Gas Digital Network. You know, you guys can come whenever you want to come on my podcast. Let me know.
That should be dope.
In Godfrey We Trust, Gas Digital Network. Subscribe with the promo code Godfrey30. You get 30 days for free. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You can check out the network, and you can see some episodes on YouTube. Just type in Godfrey We Trust and press subscribe. You know what I mean?
Indeed, bro. We appreciate you, man. Salute as always. Till next time.
Yes, brothers. Salute.
Thank you, bro.